Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for May 1st. May the 1st be with you. And we're going to be talking about, of course, Masterpiece, Transformers, Legends, Transformers, and Mainline. And if you call Beast Wars Transformers, we're talking about them too. Haha, we got a tasty update from Ramen Toy with several of their projects. This 40th anniversary Masterverse He-Man is now up for pre-order. We'll be talking about that. There are a slew of listings that were leaked and taken down, so I'm just going to talk about them from the list that I have, but I'm not allowed to show it because I might get taken down, for McFarlane and the 66 Batman line. And of course, there's a little bit of Star Wars news, but a lot's going to be happening on the 4th. We're going to talk about this and more coming up. First up, what's cool at Show Z right now, they got the rest of the Rising Force Legends scale Combaticons for Rising Force. All 5 of these are for pre-order right now, so the last 3 are now up for pre-order. $1 down. Don't know the final price on this, but this is Legends scale, and this is an alternative to the Minosaur from Magic Square. And for our good friends, Zero One Studio are bringing us another Planet Bot. And these are fuzzy kind of photos to kind of show what it might look like. These are teasers. We don't have price on it just yet, but it's up for pre-order for $3 down. Should be here first quarter of 2023. It's going to be almost 18 inches tall, so around the same size as their Unicron. And we already know what we got with the first one. Going to get about the same thing with this. They call it Primus the Creator. So we're hearing that in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be seeing this Hannibal, which is the Fort Max head from Fans Toys. So it should start coming up. The pre-order calls should start coming in for you to pay for it, so it'll start shipping out. And of course, Friday we had this nice discussion talking about the concept of how we're going to get the rest of the body, how much price, all that kind of stuff. So you want to hear that, check that video out. But still pretty awesome right there. But if Fans Toys is able to pull this feat off and make this, then it will open the door to other big city bots getting made. Maybe this isn't your favorite. Maybe you want a Metroplex, or maybe you want a Scorponok. But maybe down the road, way down the road, there'll be other ones. Word on the street is that Bandit is next after Hannibal. So Bandit's going to be coming with the combiner parts and all that kind of stuff. It's still kind of strange, but I'm sure we'll see it when they announce it. Say, okay, here's all the pictures. They're going to do a full-on solicitation of the figure, and we can finally see the combine mode and parts on stuff. That's what I expect, if it's really true, if it is next in line after Hannibal. Next up, there's a really awesome picture out there kind of showing you this. It's a Dreamstar arm for Superion versus Zeta, and kind of cool. At first I was thinking, oh, did somebody digibash this to show original G1 colors? But then I start to wonder if they did another run in G1 colors, what it would look like. So it would probably look very G1-esque if it was colored that way. It would be kind of cool. It would be kind of interesting. But I thought this shot was kind of fun, seeing as how we'll probably be getting that one pretty soon. So Transarts has some projects that they are working on now. I feel like we already know about this, but yet it seems like it's not up for pre-order anywhere just yet. So anyway, I do not see it for pre-order anywhere, but it's Tarantulas figure, and it looks pretty good. It does look good overall. Here's the bot mode, and some reason I feel like we've seen a little bit of this in the past, but more pictures to give us an update. And then we got this picture here of, well, we know this is Rampage. I'm not the Beast Wars expert, of course, so sometimes I feel like I'm saying the wrong name. And here we go with this guy. So they're working on a lot right now and waiting for more official reveals and better pictures, and hopefully more of that soon. Transar showed off pictures this week of the BWM-02X, and this is their transmetal version of Optimus Primal. And one of the things about this is the paint. Transart really does a really good job with the paint, the applications, and that metallized chrome that they utilize with this, and it just makes it really pop on the shelf. Here's the monkey and the surfboard. I remember all that. That was kind of fun back in the day, and this does look pretty cool. So this is kind of a recolor with the X, and I guess it's extra shiny. Here is the bot mode, sort of. So it kind of looks pretty cool, pretty interesting. I'm starting to think there's some transparent pieces in this, which is kind of cool, but scary at the same time, because transparent. Plastic is fragile. It's not the only monkey on the loose. We got pictures of Kang Toys Thorilla, and I don't know. For some reason I was thinking they were calling it Monkey Pants, but whatever. Thorilla, there he is, looking pretty cool, beastly. Here he is in his bot mode, and so this is actual pictures. So I think we've seen a lot of these pictures, but this is an in-hand picture. Looks a little bit different, a little bit better. Last week we saw some of these colored. Now we see all of them covered. I think this is still just a digital render, though. I thought they had the actual prototypes of this figure, and some of them were colored, some were still in grayscale, but still, they keep putting out updates to this project every single week, so I guess we'll keep up with it till it's released. Megatron Lab has some updates to their, they call it Step 1 Teaser 2 Ring Hyo, but what they're saying is scale. It's a big thing is scale, that they're trying to get it right. I think it looks really good, fantastic. But this picture shows the kind of the issue, I guess, that they were concerned with, to have it to the correct scale, and I don't know if they're adjusting up or down. I really didn't get the details on all that, but it does look good. In fact, it looks fantastic. Just looks super G1, super clean. It doesn't look overly complicated to transform. I might be wrong on that. I might be eating my words on that, but it looks like exactly what you'd want out of a masterpiece scale Devastator. So I'm pretty excited about it. I hope it goes through standard means and you don't have to order it straight from them, but I'm hearing you might have to order it straight from them, so there's kind of that concern there. I would rather be able to just trust that I can order from Shozi and get it, and that'd be great. And here's a quick close-up on all of the modes right there, and just looks fantastic. Sorry, Toy World. Sorry, bud. We got in-hand pictures of the premium paint for X-Transbot's Eligos. Anyway, this is their Cyclonus, and it looks pretty good. I'm a little surprised the shade of the purple they went, and it almost looks like they're trying to copy what Fans Toys did with the T. Was it the T? Or the L or whatever? Anyway, but that's the shade it looks. I'm a little surprised. I thought it was going to be darker than that. It's a little bit lighter pink, almost a lavender, almost like the Shockwave Lavender Wave in a way. But still looks pretty good. And really, from the pictures, I can't tell the sheen and the shine of it, but I imagine it is very shiny. If they did pretty much kind of the same thing they did with their Perceptor, then I would expect this to be pretty shiny. So still, it looks pretty good overall, and I just would like to get it in hand personally, take a look at it, but I'm still pretty happy with the original one. So we got more pictures from Flames Toys for their Rodimus 07. This is a pretty cool looking figure. It's going to be 23 centimeters in height, and it's got 5 LED units, eye, chest, 4 shoulder, and outer armors become Rodimus Prime, and some pretty cool stuff. Some superposable diecast for solidity and heaviness, but they always just throw a ton of pictures at you. They like to show off the posability of these. They like to show off pretty much every angle, everything you can see about it, but it does look pretty cool overall. If you're into the stylized look for this Rodimus, you might want to be on this one, and then you can convert it from Hot Rod to Rodimus, as my understanding how that's going to work. And it's only $400 only. So we have a showing from Prime 1 Studio here, showing off the Transmetal 2 Megatron, and this is a nice looking one. It looks like a shiny Megatron bot that is covered in dirt and flames and stuff. So that's kind of the effect they were going for this. When I think of this, I think of a very clean, super shiny figure, but that's not exactly how they did it. And of course, that's not exactly their style either. But this guy's going to be a beast. You know it's going to be huge. It's going to have a massive presence on your shelf, and of course also a massive price. They also showed off their Megatron at an event they had. Pretty cool. If you're into these movie ones and you want the statues, and they're going to be big, they're huge, so that's pretty awesome. If you're into that, check it out. Prime 1 Studio. They're also doing a movie Sideswipe, which kind of does actually look pretty cool, and it does look very clean. And for me personally, I'd be in on the clean look, but then again, I do like the detail that they did put into that Megatron. So really clean looking Sideswipe there. And we have Funbee Studios making a worker drone from G1 episode, the Key to Vector Sigma. So with that, that's kind of cool. Like little background characters that'll never get made by anyone else. They won't get made by Fans Toys or official third party, I doubt. So hey, fill the gap with this 3D printed version here, and it looks kind of cool. Here is just kind of a close-up on this picture of something else chasing this worker drone. So if you're interested in that, check out Fumby Studio. So we got some in-hand images of New Age, and it's the H9C Clone Commander Armageddon. So this is their Megatron, and it kind of looks like, well, the head's painted kind of like what you saw at the beginning of the intro. Early on, that was kind of how it was kind of looking. I don't know all the details about all that kind of stuff, but still, it looks pretty cool. And there he is in his alt mode. Now I have the original EX, I think, shiny version of this mold, and it's okay. I still like the Magic Square mold better, but New Age does all these different recolors, which is really awesome. So getting into some mainline news here, we do have a boxed version of RC, and of course out of the box, all that kind of stuff. So this is a real one. That's a real one that made it through production somehow, and here she is. Looks pretty good, but of course thick in the thighs. Now actually she doesn't look quite as thick in the thighs as the last picture I saw, but it's all about the angle that you take it and all that kind of stuff. Here she is from behind, and looks a lot thinner in the legs than what I was seeing last week. So this looks way better than I was thinking, so I'm pretty excited for her. And then the alt mode, of course, is awesome. I mean, I keep thinking it looks like a Tron light cycle, but the windshield needs to be way further forward for that. So still looks really cool, really awesome. Great design. So we've got more pictures of this Diaclone twin twist. Much better pictures. I think it looks pretty good. It looks okay. Overall, the original, of course, in my mind, the original's the one, but so many missed out on that because that suffered last wave syndrome and did not sell well. It didn't see the stores very much, and all of the online retailers actually clearanced the case of these out for $50 each. So that's why you didn't see it. It was not produced very heavily and clearanced out pretty much right away, which shocked me. But looking at it, the alt mode right here, so looking pretty cool, looking pretty good. If you missed out on this, you might want to pick this up, because I don't know 100% that they will make the original color again, but who knows, because they did it with Pounce and Wingspan. All the people that scrambled to go through the hunt to get those back in the day, they got a nice little 2-pack of those to target. Maybe we'll see the same with this in original colors. This is a possible look at a Studio Series Sideways, and he's in robot mode, but there's a fair chance he's mistransformed, and I don't know. I really don't know much about this character, so I wouldn't be able to tell you if it's mistransformed or if it looks like it's a good one or not, so there it is. But I think the coolest news this week is we're getting a Generation Select Cyclonus with the toy colors, which looks fantastic. I think this thing looks outstanding overall, and I will definitely be picking one of these up. It is going to cost pretty much $40. I think it's got priced at like $38.59 or some weird pricing to it. But I guess depending where you get it, you might get it cheaper here or there, maybe if you're lucky. But it's a pretty decent mold. I mean, the head sculpt's a little bit off. It's not horrible. It's just that's probably the weakest part of it. But aside from that, the whole figure looks good in both modes. Transformation's not that bad. So really, I love what they're doing with the Studio Series. And now that we get the toy colors, this is really, in my mind, how I see this for a Chug mainline figure, and it works. So DNA Designs is coming out with the DK30G and U upgrade kits for the toy version of your Galvatron or the transparent version of your Galvatron, and it's going to add a bit to it. And the thing I like about this set is when you add height to a figure, I think that is really worth it. I did kind of feel like the original is just a little bit bulky, so to give an upgrade, make them a little bit bigger. Now, I think the set is like $50 though, so you are paying for what you get, but I think it looks pretty good. And I think that also the way you mount the cannon gets changed, all kinds of stuff. Shoulder parts, leg extenders, new hands, matrix holder, and longer chain. New face frame with 3 interchangeable faces, 1 G1 toy-inspired gun, and then blast effects. So we got some more of those the conceptual idea to toy show here. and it's for the Studio Series Nah, which looks pretty good. But one thing is, it's always interesting like how they do this. But I do want to point out something. The reason I even am talking about this is because there's this KO Legends that's coming out, and it looks exactly like this. And the rumor on the street was that it was a direct KO undersize of this to Legends. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out, because that thing's supposed to be releasing and coming out very soon also. So we got in-package pictures of Junkie, and I want to say that I'm glad that I saw this, because I've seen Wreck-Gar so much, which is a good thing. I'm not complaining at all. That is very good figure, good to have it on the shelf, good for distribution. But when I see a Wreck-Gar, now I'm going to stop and look, is it Junkie? Because I want to get them, of course. I'll get every single iteration they pop out for $30 or $33 for this guy, because it would be a nice little scene. But I would hate to walk by, see this, glance at it, but think it's Wreck-Gar and pass on it. So Jada Toys is putting some more information out about this auto-converting RC Optimus Prime. And the thing about this is that I thought it was going to be smaller. It's actually about 12 inches long as truck, so it looks like it's probably 12 inches tall. That's going to be a big boy on toy out there. Not what I was expecting. I don't actually see any pricing information just yet, but it's kind of interesting. It's going to have lights and sounds and really awesome. 13 inches tall, so it looks pretty cool. Something that you'd get for kids, of course. This, or if you don't want to spend nearly $1,000 on Roboson. So if you attended this CinemaCon, they showed Beast, Rise of the Beast Transformers, a 12-second clip here. There was no dialogue, but what stands out to me, what they're talking about, is that it showed Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and RC, and they said RC looked very much like a G1, or very reminiscent of a G1 RC. So I don't know if it's the one we already saw, or she's even more updated for this movie. Who really knows? But it's interesting that that is what stood out in that little 12-second blurb. So people are showing that they're finding Blitzwing out in the wild. I'm starting to wonder who he's packed with, though. He is a leader class, and I would think he'd be packed with Sludge, right? Would that make sense? That would be awesome if he was. Probably isn't, though, so I actually don't know at this point just yet. I guess I could dig a little bit to find out. But also, what else is showing up around there? So it's kind of fun to see what's showing up in other countries here and there. It just kind of seems like things hitting around about the same time right now for Canada and US and a few other places. But I want to say that all of this Beast Wars stuff is showing up at a lot of places. And before I get into talking about what I'm seeing around here, which is mostly clearance, I want to say that the consumer's been hit really hard the last year and a half, so a lot of people struggling, so which is going to lead to a lot of clearance. And I talk a lot about clearance. And also, there's a lot of other factors like the stock market correcting back to its normal level where it should be anyway. And so that's going to make a lot of people feel broke. But I did kind of predict this 6 months ago, simply because of the fact that we have stuff starting to show up that was sitting on boats forever. And at the same time, we got resets and things happening and changing. This is strange how I haven't seen this on shelf for even 6 weeks. And it's gone to clearance at least at one Walmart. So a lot of Walmarts are hit and miss, and they do their own thing and all that kind of stuff. But the fact that we're getting another wave and then another wave of these figures, they start clearancing out the old one to get rid of it because they don't want to jam it up in retail. And hey, I commend Walmart for moving old product, although this is still relatively new. And we got pictures of Super 7 actual figures in the packaging for their Ultimus Transformers line. And I still think they look pretty good. They look sort of cartoonish, which is, they're going for super ultra cartoon. I don't think they hit ultra cartoon, but I really think this is kind of like Red, but better and bigger. And so with all that, I do have a couple of them pre-ordered. I'm picking and choosing ones that I think are interesting, and I'm going to go with those. And then, of course, I'll have to check them out and see how they compare to, well, how are they going to compare to Masterpiece? Probably not very well, but just see. I'm going to check them out. I'm not going to write them off until I try them. Okay, in other news, we got Ramen Toy with updates to their everything, it seems like. But let's look at this. Cyborg looks pretty good. This is Hacker. They're showing paint. Now, this is renders, more or less. Digibash renders. but they're showing what they're doing with painting all the details on the inside and all that kind of stuff, because the figure does split apart. I believe this is going to hold together magnetically too, so that's kind of cool. You got some little bitty nubs in there to kind of hold it in place, and the magnets will do the holding together, so that's great. Here's the final package shot for the 80s Commanders for the retro look, and they do look pretty good. This is the 80s colored pack of the retro 80s Commanders, but anyhow, they look great, and I'm in on this, so they'll be shipping pretty soon, so expect an invoice if you're ordering these. It's always fun to see these behind-the-scenes production shots. So sometimes you get that with the Masterpiece Transformers, but you're getting it with Ramen Toy right now, which is great. Look at all the legs, look at all these missiles and all that kind of stuff. And then I think we got a nice picture of some torsos coming up right here. So that's always fun to get to see that kind of stuff. And I'm glad that they share that. Here's a picture of their Monstar, unpainted, and what he's trying to do is fit in on a vintage Masters of the Universe He-Man shelf. He's like, do I fit in with a vintage squatty pose? No, he's trying to fit on a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shelf. Can I go next to Shredder? Now, I'm super excited about all the projects from Ramen Toys. They all look phenomenal. They all look amazing. Here's the thing. This is a light coat of paint on this, so it wasn't really set up to be 100% paint. They just kind of want to show progress, and they're still I think they're still experimenting with the types of paint, the applications of the paint, those kinds of things. So they do want it to look as close to vac metallized without it actually being vac metallized. Here he is, the Quicksilver with the Tallyhawk, and it's connected with magnets also. And they showed how the Tallyhawk was laying on the ground, and the arm came by and picked up the Tallyhawk with the magnets. That's how strong they are. Here he is from the back, super clean, just really nice looking figure, and I'm really in on all these. Excited for them, looking forward to them. A lot of fun. And we got the prototype. I think this is every piece that you're going to need for your John Thunder, and that looks pretty cool. Looks pretty exciting. Finally getting unreleased product that's made a little bit different than the original prototypes, but overall, very, very close to the original prototypes, especially with the equipment, and you can plug this into your existing figures. So there's a lot of new updated pictures of Masters of the Universe. I think some other people have really gone deep into that. I would probably do that in a separate video, but when pre-orders go up for all of those. But right now, pre-orders are up for this He-Man, the 40th anniversary, at BBTS right now. I don't know how long they're going to be up, how quick this is going to sell out. This is something that in my gut, I feel like this is going to sell out fast, because this does rival the original Matty Collector and the Super 7 version. Now, not quite the Club Grayskull. It's still a little bit better in my opinion, but this is very good, and there's more articulation from my understanding with this guy. But anyway, I went ahead and got my pre-order in, and I'm passing the info along to you guys. So there are technically 4 leaks about what's going on with the 66 Batman 66 Retro 6-inch. I was telling you last week how they clearanced a bunch of stuff out, but it turns out that the boxing ones, the Penguin, and is it Catwoman? Those 4 are still regular price because they're still on the they're still on the mod, and these will be coming down the road theoretically. Now this is not 100%, but TNI News did put a list out, and the first one is the Bat Cycle with a sidecar. Now I believe it's going to be this one here, which to me just kind of fits that era. There's a couple of different ones out there. I didn't watch this show religiously, but I have kind of the gist of it, and I have the idea of the style of it, so it's pretty exciting, pretty interesting. And McFarlane has actually been known for making motorcycles, so no surprise there. There's also a Villain's Lair. I have no idea what they're going to put in a Villain's Lair. Tell you the truth, I like the Batcave because it was $30. It's a nice background. It fills your shelf great. If they were to do anything else to try to be a full-on playset, well, look at Super 7. They charge $600 for their playsets. So what would McFarlane be charging for a playset that was like, say, a Castle Grayskull? So I want them to do about the same thing, keep the price point, give us some really cool stuff to add to a display. The other 2 leaks are we're going to get a black and white version of Batman and Joker. So sounds kind of cool to me if that's really true. So lots of G.I. Joe talk, showing, pre-ordering. So all these figures right here that you see are up for pre-order. If you want to know more of my individual thoughts on each one, I made a video about it, and I did that because I'm not going to sit 15 minutes talking about it just during the news. So looking at all of this, they look great. The ones on the left are pre-orderable pretty much just at Target. The ones on the right are pre-orderable pretty much everywhere. So that's kind of how you do that. And if you want to, I know BBTS's World got the 3 on the right, and Target's World got the 3 on the left. Again, I'm not going to go into detail on all of these, in my opinion on all of these, but we're getting another Snake Eyes and Timber. So that's like the 11th Snake Eyes, whatever. We're getting a retro version of Storm Shadow, even though we don't have the first version of Storm Shadow version 1. We're getting Zartan, the third version they're putting out, and it's supposed to be considered retro. Those will be on retro card backs. And we're getting a Sergeant Slaughter, which is awesome. But, you know, Valaverse was doing it, and now it's going to be this one. And between the two, it looks good. It looks good. We're getting a 2-pack of Blue Ninjas, which are just repaints of Akiko and the Red Ninja, and then we're getting Duke and the Ram Cycle in Tiger Force. And there was a questionnaire like the next day, a Q&A, or maybe right after the live stream or whatever, but the classified Kamakura and the Ninja 2-packs are going to be Amazon exclusive, so if you're in on those, they're Amazon exclusives. Sergeant Slaughter should be a broad fan channel exclusive, so you can get it at BBTS and Entertainment Earth when they're up for pre-order. Then the classified Renegade Snake Eyes, the second 2-pack they're making right now, is going to be a general release. And then the Walmart 6-inch retro card back. Now this is something that's kind of bothersome, but they did go out of the way to say that they've revealed they're going to do a total of 8 figures: Baroness, Lady J, Destro, Gung-Ho, Storm Shadow, Zartan, and I guess there's going to be 2 more that are announced. And then they're going to change the packaging. So they're going to do retro with plastic, and after that, the retros are not going to have plastic. And then they go into talking about what they're going to do with the O-rings. Well, before I go into that, I do want to say BBTS has also gotten all of Walmart's extra stock of these figures, the retro collection 4-inch figures. But talking about the O-rings, they're saying basically they're going to have a footlocker for the weapons, and then they're going to have another one that looks, another box for the figure in it, and it's supposed to look like a vault, and there'll be a keypad with a number to identify the figure. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. It's not going to be like a retro style packaging. That's the big part of the O-ring for me, is getting those packaging back. But anyway, that's how they're going to be doing it. I don't know. We're going to find out more about this in June. They say big things coming in June, like no more plastic in your packaging. Ouch. Getting into some Star Wars news here, we have the Hasbro Pulse Fan First Wednesday coming up May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. I mean, obviously, that's what they've been doing all along, and so pretty cool, pretty exciting. What's going to be in there? Probably not much for me, but I'm still going to watch it or check it out, or at least look at the crib notes and find out. Actually, I'm only checking Star Wars news to do this segment, so because there's so little out there, so little going on, which blows my mind how the biggest franchise in the universe is so small. But let's see the little bit that's going on out there. So really, most of the news sites for Star Wars are just talking about what's showing up and reviewing stuff that showed up and what's on clearance. So this thing's not on clearance, but it's on sale. It's a Bad Batch 4-pack that doesn't have a Bad Batch character in it. So of course it's going to be going on sale. It's $58.95. But my son was actually just asking me about this the other day. How is it possible they can have a 4-pack without a Bad Batch character in it? Because we're completing the Bad Batch in the Black Series line, and yet there's not any really for the 4-inch line for the Vintage Collection. So speaking of Vintage Collection, we're supposed to be getting the Vintage Collection Boba Fett and R2-D2. I think these are the ones that are for the Droids line, and it's the Target. It says that they're on the way. There's 8 showing up to this Target or whatever. So pretty cool. But the thing about this is that looks like the price went up. Am I wrong? I've got myself C-3PO. I thought it was $14. I thought it was upset that it was like $1 more or something. But now they're $3 more. So a couple more bucks every single time these things start showing up. And we have the latest wave of the vintage collection allegedly arriving right now. Allegedly, this wave should start showing up, so look for it in your stores, or if you pre-ordered it, or whatever. But yeah, I'm just kind of rolling the dice. If I find it, I do. If I don't, I don't. And of course, the Black Series. This wave's hit and miss, hard to find. I think each of my Walmart's got one case, and that's how I got the few that I have. But I want to say that we are probably going to get a lot more announcements and stuff coming up on the 4th, and that's probably why it's so quiet the last couple weeks in Star Wars, just to be honest about that. And also, the packaging update, so that's going to be a problem. I hope they learn their lesson from this packaging faux pas, and within a year we go back to normal packaging, or we're going to have half the collectors quitting, in my opinion. So what else do you think about this week's weekly news and review? What else is going on out there that I didn't talk about? Like and subscribe. Tydirium Hanger out.